So in continuation of axilla, now we are going to discuss axillary group of lymph nodes. So we will try to discuss about them and we will also talk about applied aspects. Okay. So axilla region will have around 20 to 30 axillary group of lymph nodes. So this axillary group of lymph nodes are draining the lymphatics from the upper limb and also from the mammary gland. Cutaneous lymphatics from the trunk above the level of umbilicus will be collected by the axillary group of lymph nodes. Now, how do we classify them? So the axillary group of lymph nodes have been classified into 5 groups. What are those? Anterior group, posterior group, lateral group, central group and apical group. A part of this axillary group of lymph nodes you should have studied when we were doing mammary gland as well. Okay. So I asked you to remember certain names of the veins which correspond to the artery. Do you remember what is the name of the artery which is accompanying the lower border of the pectoralis minor? Lateral thoracic artery. Now correspondingly, this in blue color is lateral thoracic vein. So this lateral, whatever lymph nodes which are accompanying the lateral thoracic vein, they come under anterior group. Okay, subscapular artery, if you remember, correspondingly we have subscapular vein. Okay, corresponding to that we have posterior axillary group of lymph nodes, isn't it? So this is all axillary vein, isn't it? Then here you have the lateral axillary group of lymph nodes. In between the anterior and posterior, you have central group of lymph nodes. And towards the apex of axilla, if you remember the apex, if you remember like posterior surface of the clavicle, upper border of the scapula and outer border of the first rib, almost that point you will see the apical group of lymph nodes. All these are very much related to axilla. That's how they are named as axillary group of lymph nodes. Now each lymph node we have to discuss in detail because this itself may come as a short note. Axillary group of lymph nodes are very important. Now see here, this is anterior pectoral group, consists of either 3 or 5 lymph nodes. They lie along, what is the name of this vein? Lateral thoracic vein, okay, in the medial wall of the axilla at the lower border of the pectoralis minor. It drains most of the lymphatics from the mammary gland, the anterior group. That's the reason if there is any like what is the you have under clinical anatomy of mammary gland, you will see the if there is any cancer in the mammary gland, the axillary group of lymph nodes are palpated because the cancer cells are spreading through the lymphatics into the first group you will check is anterior group of lymph nodes, sentinel group of lymph nodes they are also called this. Okay. So, and they drain most of the lymphatics from breast. Then coming to posterior, posterior is subscapular vein accompanied nodes. They may be either 6 or 7 in number along the subscapular vessels in the posterior wall of the axilla on the subscapularis muscle. It receives the lymphatics from the posterior part of the trunk as below is iliac crest. Anterior was above the umbilicus, whereas this is very far. It is collecting the lymph from almost up to iliac crest. Then lateral group of lymph nodes. Which were the lateral group? I'll show you the diagram again. This is lateral. Okay. So the lateral group of lymph nodes. So they are either 6 or 7 in number. Here you are finding. Okay. So posterior medial to the axillary vein, they receive lymphatics from the entire upper limb except those which are accompanying the cephalic vein. Okay. Then central group. Okay, between the anterior and posterior, we have central group. So consists of 3 or 4 large lymph nodes situated deep to pectoralis minor in association with the second part of axillary artery. It is close to the base of the axilla, embedded in the fat, receives lymphatics from preceding 3 in the sense anterior, posterior and lateral. They are pouring their lymph into the central group. Okay, lymphatic drainage, I told you it is something like an assistant to venous system because whole lymph will be moving into the final duct, that is the thoracic duct, which is opening into the venous system, isn't it? Then intercosto-brachial nerve, if you remember, I told you on the medial aspect of the axilla, there is T2 nerve. that is intercostobrachial nerve, which pierces the thoracic cage. So that nerve passes through central group of lymph nodes. That's why in carcinoma of breast, enlargement of central group of lymph nodes and compression of intercostobrachial nerve is seen, because of which there will be referred pain along the medial side of the arm. That means we should ask the patient. We are checking for the enlargement of lymph nodes in the axilla region. At the same time, we are also checking if the lady has pain along the medial side of the arm. Because if this nerve is compressed, intercostobrachial nerve, which is actually piercing the central group of lymph nodes, so you will, like it will be a signal to tell like it is a case of breast carcinoma, breast cancer. This is our intercostobrachial nerve, which is piercing the thoracic cage, moving along the medial side of the arm, along which the pain will be referred if there is any breast cancer because of the compression of this central group of lymph nodes. Okay. These lymph nodes will be enlarged and will be compressing the intercostobrachial nerve. So these were the central group: anterior, posterior, lateral, and central. Then, as whole of the limb, finally it has to move here, isn't it? That is apical. In the apex of the axilla, medial to the axillary vein, we have the apical group of lymph nodes. They receive lymphatics from subcutaneous lymphatics of upper limb, which accompany the cephalic vein, upper margin of the mammary gland, and all other group of axillary lymph nodes. Okay. So efferents, that means the lymphatics coming from here, they form apical group, converge to form subclavian lymphatic trunk, which usually joins the venous system. This I have told you when I was discussing the lymphatic system class in general anatomy. So the subclavian lymphatic trunk, it opens into the vein. How? Where junction between the right subclavian vein and right internal jugular vein in the neck region. Okay, this one. Here it comes. Subclavian trunk. Right subclavian and right brachiocephalic. Okay, right subclavian and right internal jugular vein in the neck region. Okay, then. So now, the axillary group of lymph nodes are contained in the fascial tent. That means in the axillary fascia, you will see they are all embedded. Okay. So in front, you will see which covers almost the wall of axilla as follows. Okay. What is this wall of the axilla? Anterior wall. Pectoralis major, minor. Behind, we have pectoral, like subscapularis and latissimus dorsi. Medial, we have serratus anterior. Lateral is formed by the convergence of anterior and posterior walls, right? So in front, you will see the fascial tent is like here we have the anterior group of lymph nodes, that is the pectoralis minor and clavipectoral fascia. Okay, behind the fascial tent is moving towards subscapularis. Medially, the fascial tent is covering the intercostal muscles and serratus anterior. Apex is towards the cervicoaxillary canal, where all the fascia meet, and base is skin, I said, open directed below. You should just try to recollect the boundaries of axilla in order to understand this line. Okay, then axillary group of lymph nodes, you will see. So like grouping of axillary lymph nodes according to their locations with respect to pectoralis minor. This is one more way of classification. Level 1 is below pectoralis minor, which has been shown in green color. Level 2 is behind pectoralis minor. These are middle nodes. Level 3 is above pectoralis minor. This is level 3. Okay, upper nodes. So level 1, 2 and 3. Okay. So rotor's node is between pectoralis minor and major. Okay. So this is one more way of classifying. Instead of calling them as anterior, posterior, lateral, central and apical group, like in some surgery books, they will be classified based on pectoralis minor. Okay. Above is like you will see level 3, behind is level 2 and below is level 1. Okay. Rotors is between pectoralis major and minor. So this is one more picture which helps us to understand the various lymph nodes. Okay. So this is anterior group, which are also called as external mammary. Posterior along subscapular vein, isn't it? Central is in between. Here you have the lateral one. Then apical is towards the apex of the axilla. Okay. What are rotors? I said between pectoralis major and minor. Major is cut, that's why minor is seen. So between pectoralis major and minor, you have few lymph nodes. You call them as rotors nodes. Okay, coming to clinical anatomy, sentinel lymph nodes which receive the lymph from the area of breast involved in cancer. They are usually the level 1 lymph nodes. Which are the level 1? This one. Okay. So level 1 lymph nodes confirmed by injecting a radioactive substance into the affected area of the breast. Okay. So in case of breast cancer, we generally check, actually the clinicians, instead of naming them as anterior, posterior, lateral, central and apical, clinicians use the word level 1. So that means the cancer cells are spreading to level 1 group of lymph nodes. Okay. That is, you can see like sentinel lymph nodes. Then if there is any infection in the axilla region, so if hair is not clean in that area, axilla has a lot of hair, sebaceous glands, sweat glands, so because of which always the area is moist and it will invite all infections. Bacteria will get a chance to multiply over there, viruses, fungi. So because of which infections in the axilla region, if hygiene is not maintained, you will see it will lead to a condition which is called as axillary abscess, nothing but pus formation. It arises from infection and suppuration of axillary lymph nodes. Suppuration means formation of pus. Okay. So this pus may track into the neck also, and it may enter, because I told you we have axillary sheath, isn't it? So it may also track into the area between the pectoral muscles if it is breaking through clavipectoral fascia. So how to treat this condition? Generally, drainage. That means one cut is given in the floor of axilla midway between anterior and posterior axillary folds, and we are just like removing the pus from this area. Okay. That is, again, we should be very careful. Like, we should not injure the major structures because we have so many vessels, nerves, and also cords of brachial plexus running all around the axillary artery, isn't it? So that we have to see the incision is in the floor of axilla midway between anterior and posterior axillary folds near to the medial wall, so that we don't injure the main vessels running along the anterior, posterior and lateral walls of axilla. Okay. So enlargement of axillary lymph nodes, if there is any infection in the upper limb, it can cause again enlargement of axillary lymph nodes. Okay, the axillary lymph nodes, they become tender. The condition, see, if it is inflammation of lymphatic vessels, we call it as lymphangitis. In previous class of lymphatic system, I told you if lymph nodes are enlarged, it is called as lymphadenitis. Okay. So because this is here, now upper limb is involved, the humeral group of lymph nodes are involved. Okay. So these are all axillary group of lymph nodes. In metastatic cancer of apical group, the nodes often adhere to axillary vein. That means they get sticked to axillary vein. Okay, which may necessitate excision. That means cutting off a part of the axillary vein should be cut if there is any adhesion like this. Okay. Then enlargement of the apical group of lymph nodes may obstruct the cephalic vein. Okay, this is the cephalic. Here you have the apical group, and this, if there is any enlargement in the apical group, the cephalic vein may get obstructed superior to pectoralis minor. This is our pectoralis minor, and here there may be obstruction. Okay, so this is the way you generally palpate the axillary group of lymph nodes. Okay, generally we do this type of examination whenever there is breast cancer. Okay, so where the patient can be either in standing or sitting position, and we are asking the hand to be placed on the side to be examined. Okay, just ask the patient to put his hand on the hip and push hard medially. This action of adduction on the shoulder joint causes pectoralis major to contract maximally. Here we have pectoralis major, so that it becomes hard like a board and we can easily palpate axillary group of lymph nodes. Okay. Thank you.